If you're feeling emotionally drained from work, this video is for you. Hi, I'm a social scientist, and I'm going to explain how you are most likely engaging in the occupational requirement of emotional labor. 80 to 85% of jobs require emotional labor, with the higher number of jobs being in the service industry, anywhere where there is direct care or service. But that doesn't mean that you might not be engaging in emotional labor in jobs that have a more covert requirement. So what is emotional labor? Emotional labor is essentially, as Arlie Hochschild calls it, the commercialization of the human heart. What this means is you're going to be using your face, your own emotions, and emotional regulation, particularly surface acting or faking it until you make it to get through it, or deep acting, authentically feeling and displaying the emotion in order to elicit a response that is desired from the service recipient. So in other words, a teacher might be highly engaged in working with students and using their face and using encouragement and encouraging words in order to get students to have a level of motivation and to respond positively. It's important to note that emotional labor in and of itself is not good or bad. It just is. It's just an occupational requirement usually found under duties as assigned that's invisible but is very real and is truly taking from your emotional stores, which can lead to adverse outcomes like burnout or feeling very drained. So what do we do about it? Honestly, just recognizing that it's a real occupational requirement and a real thing, that just helps. That just validates the feelings that you're going through. Next is identifying if you're experiencing any dissonance. Emotional dissonance occurs when you're expected to display an emotion that you don't really feel. What research tells us is it's actually emotional dissonance that can lead to those adverse outcomes that are associated with doing work that requires emotional labor. So if you can effectively emotionally regulate and do more deep acting or the authentic display of emotion and get away from the surface acting or the faking it, false face side of emotion, you will avoid some of that dissonance, which will then hopefully help you avoid things like burnout. So here's 3 steps. 1, remember why you're doing the work that you're doing. You should be feeling value in your job. If you're not, it's actually time to look for another job. 2, practice emotional regulation. If you feel really heightened or overly upset in a situation, take a step back and use some grounding tools or mindfulness tools to activate those things. 3, reach out to your boss or coworkers or friends or family for support. Let them know how you're feeling and avail yourself to resources like EAP or employee assistance programs in order to help you so that you can continue to be the best version of yourself in your job. So now you know more about emotional labor, and thank you for the